All right, chat, vacate fear, folks. What is up? Welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and drop some notifications in the Discord. Let's see here. Drop some notifications. Let everyone know we are live. Uh, let's see. Also, guys, real quick, if you're in the Discord, if you're a part of our Discord, if you check the gaming chat, if you're an Xbox player, if you check the gaming chat right now, in the Discord server, I dropped a picture of a 14-day. A free 14-day Xbox Game Pass. If anyone wants that, you better go grab it before someone else does. I don't need it, so if you are in the Discord server, if you go over to the gaming chat portion of that, there is a 14-day free Xbox Game Pass code over there for anyone who wants it. I don't know, somebody already may have grabbed it by now, but I just posted it. So, Mike, what's up, dude? Yo, what up? What up, man? Holy shit, I actually caught a live. What's up? Welcome. What's up, Olivia? What's up? What's up? Oh, someone already mentioned should I get the Game Pass activated? I don't know, dude. I would do less thinking about it and more doing it because somebody's gonna grab it. Nice. I was watching an old video. Welcome, Maddie. How you doing? What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. I did send out our notifications, right, to the Discord. Discord server? Yes, I think so. There we go. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. We got it. We got it. We got it. I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Man, man, you're kidding, right? We ain't even been streaming for 2 minutes. Tone's already coming through with a $30 tip. Says keep up the good fight. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. Not even 2 minutes into the stream yet, dude. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. The time zones really suck. They do. They do. There's no way around it, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I haven't caught a live in a while. Well, welcome, welcome. You are here now. Hey, shout out again. Shout out, dude. $30 tip. I appreciate it, man. We've not even gotten started yet. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. Show some love in the chat, man. Show some love in the chat. I do appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much for that. All right, guys. All right. Let's get started. I mean, we might as well. Normally we wait a little bit longer than this, but we've already got a handful of people in here, so let's go ahead and get started. Anxiety recovery. It's not about feeling comfortable. It's not about feeling comfortable. Now, a lot of people, and I know we didn't I forgot to do this today. Oh well. A lot of people a lot of people don't like the sound of that. We've talked about that here recently. We've been saying the term here recently, feel it to heal it, right? And a lot of people don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear feel it to heal it. They don't like to hear the whole the whole you got to feel it to heal it. It's not about being comfortable. You know, there's a million different ways we can put this. Someone in chat claimed the Game Pass. That's awesome, dude. There's a million different ways that we can put this. So understand something. Understand something. A lot of people, when they first hear about acceptance or they first kind of start to grasp the concept of acceptance, they come into it thinking, okay, here's going to be this concept, this practice that I can use to eliminate my anxiety, right? Now, I understand that recovery is the end goal. We've been saying this a lot here recently. I understand recovery is the end goal, healing is the end goal. I know what your end goal is, right? It's obvious. You want to heal, you want to recover. I get it. You want to change your brain for the better. Understandable. I get all of this, right? But I need you to understand where I'm coming from. When I say things like feel it to heal it, when I say things like, you know, what the title of this stream says, it's not about being comfortable. You know, when I say things like that, you got to understand where I'm coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but you got to understand where I'm coming from. So, when I say feel it to heal it, when I say it's not about being comfortable, which is the main point of today's stream, right? When I say it's not about being comfortable, if you are coming into acceptance, right, with this attitude of how can I make my anxiety go away? Or maybe this will make my anxiety go away. And yes, I understand. I know it gets complicated because recovery is the end goal. So I understand that. But you got to understand if you've got the attitude of how can I make my anxiety go away? Or maybe this acceptance thing can make my anxiety go away. If that's your dominant attitude coming into acceptance, well, then that's not really acceptance, is it? So it's kind of ironic in that way. A lot of people come into this and they're like, okay, what do I got to do with this thing? Like, what is this acceptance thing all about? And they hear me say, okay, well, it's about teaching your brain that there's no real danger. It's about teaching your brain that these anxiety signals that it's sending you, right? This anxiety and this panic and these false alarms that it's sending you. It's about teaching your brain that these are irrelevant. How do you go about doing that? You go about living your life, right? You go about living your life and you go about this in a way where you embrace the anxiety. Because if we've got the danger signals firing off and we're up in our heads saying things like, I don't want to feel this, how do I make it stop? Maybe if I do this, it'll go away. Maybe if I grab this reassurance, it'll go away. Maybe if I fight with this thought, maybe if I do this compulsion, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that, then it'll go away, right? If that's our dominant attitude coming into acceptance, well, then we're already still in resistance, right? We're already introducing resistance. We're already telling our brain, problem, 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 right? So if your attitude when coming into acceptance is one of how can I make the anxiety go away? How can I get it to leave me alone? How can I get these thoughts to stop? Maybe this acceptance thing will get these thoughts to stop. Maybe this acceptance thing will get this anxiety to go away, right? If that's your attitude coming into acceptance, well, then you're already introducing more resistance. Do you see how this works, right? Is everybody starting to catch on? So when I say things like feel it to heal it, and when I say things like your comfort's kind of, irrelevant, when I say things like it's not about being comfortable, it's because if you come into acceptance with the attitude of maybe this will make my anxiety go away, and of course, like I said, I know that's the end goal, but if that's your attitude while you're going through it, then you're already telling your brain problem, problem, problem. You see what I'm getting at? So it's ironic in that way. In one way, yes, this is about making your anxiety, quote unquote, go away. This is about healing. This is about retraining your brain. But if you're coming into it with that attitude of how to make it go away, maybe this acceptance thing will make it go away, you're already looking at it through the lens of resistance. You're already telling your brain there's an issue, right? So that's not acceptance at all. And that's why when we say that when you feel these feelings and you have these thoughts and you accept them and you keep that accepting inner voice instead of fighting with it all, that you're probably going to feel like crap, right? And that's okay. That is okay. We want to tell you that that is okay. It's okay that you feel like crap, right? It's okay that you feel like crap. You're going to feel like crap. But the whole point of this is that it's burning up. You are burning up who you used to be. You are burning up all of this anxiety. You are burning up all of this person that you thought you were, right? And you're going to come out of this fire as a new person. But understand that it's going to be uncomfortable. Understand that, you know, if you adopt acceptance and you're already asking yourselves the questions, how do I make it go away? How do I stop it? If that's the question you're asking, you're already in a resistant mindset, right? And somebody said, why does it seem to be the default? It seems to be the default because that's the habit. That's the bad habit, right? It has been for so long for you. So that's why it seems automatic. And that's why we've talked about how, even though it seems automatic, you can still follow that up with some acceptance, right? It's a practice. So, I understand that you feel like crap. I understand that you're uncomfortable. I understand that, anxiety's popping off, this, that, and the other, right? But understand that it's not about your comfort. This is not a comfort thing. This is not about your comfort. This is not about trying to soothe you into some comfort. This is about face it. This is about feel it to heal it. This is acceptance, right? So if you're one of those people who kind of came out acceptance with the attitude of maybe this will be what makes my anxiety go away, which again, I get it, in the end that's the goal, but during the process we do not want to be asking ourselves the questions, is acceptance what's going to make my anxiety go away in the moment, right? It's about facing it, right? Right? So, you know, I understand that in the end you want to heal, and I get that that's your goal, but during the process, we don't want to ask ourselves the question, what can I do to make this go away? What can I do to fight this off? Maybe this acceptance thing will make my anxiety go away, right? right? Because if you're coming at it with that attitude of maybe this acceptance thing will make my attitude go, or my anxiety go away, then that's not the attitude we want to have. That's a resistant attitude, and you're already sending more danger signals, danger, danger, right? So in the heat of the moment, while that anxiety is high and while those feelings are there, you don't want to jump up in your head and start saying things like, okay, it's all about acceptance because this is going to make this go away, make this go away, make this go away. That's not acceptance at all, right? So that's why the title of the stream says it's not about your comfort. During this healing process, during this recovery process, during this process of changing your brain, right? This is not about your comfort. This is not about comfort. This is not about any of that, right? So if you're coming at, the main point of today's stream, guys, is if you're coming at acceptance and treating it like a pill and saying to yourself things like, okay, my anxiety's high. I need to use acceptance to make this go away. I need to use acceptance to make this go away, right? If that's how you're coming at it, wrong. Wrong. You're working yourself up and you don't even realize it, right? So that's not what this is about. It's not about, okay, my anxiety's high. I need to use acceptance to make this go away, to make this go away, to make this. If I just use acceptance, like Wonder Bro told me, just accept. Okay, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Wrong. Wrong. You're just sending more danger signals, right? And that was my main point of today's stream, is to let you know if you're looking at acceptance in that way, we need to change that. This growing process, this healing process, is not about your comfort, right? So when that anxiety is high and those thoughts are high, you need to remind yourself, okay, I feel like crap, and it's okay to feel like crap, okay? Even if you don't believe that at first, that's the attitude we need to start to work ourselves up into. Okay, I feel like crap, and it's okay to feel like crap. I'm just going to let this thing do what this thing will, and we'll see what happens, right? Instead of, okay, I'm using acceptance, please go away, please go away, please go away, right? We don't want to adopt that attitude. If we adopt that attitude, then that's not acceptance at all, right? So, a lot of people do kind of treat acceptance like a pill, and I get it. It takes a minute to truly digest what it means, okay, to truly accept. So, a lot of people, when they first start out, they do make that mistake. They try to treat acceptance like a pill, but I want you to understand, it's not a bad thing when your anxiety's high. It's not a bad thing when those thoughts are roaring, right? None of this is a bad thing. And if you look at it like a bad thing, and then you start to tell yourself something like, okay, well, if I just use acceptance, it'll go away, right? Then you're already looking over your shoulder. You're already treating it like a monster. Therefore, it becomes one, right? So a lot of people do make that mistake. They try to use acceptance like a pill. They try to use it to make their anxiety go away in the moment, and that's not what we want. That's not what we want. We don't want you to use acceptance as a way to try to make it go away, right? So I do understand that in the end, healing is the goal and recovery is the goal. But during the process, we want to allow this anxiety to burn up. We want to allow these thoughts to burn up. And we don't want to get into the moment and start saying second fear statements like, how can I make it go away? How can I make this stop? Maybe if I use acceptance, it'll stop. Maybe if I use acceptance, this will all stop. Do you see? You're already adding second fear when you do that. You're already adding, this is not an accepting attitude or accepting inner voice at all, right? When you get up in your head and you start saying things like, maybe acceptance will make this go away. Maybe acceptance, right? In the end, you'll heal. In the end, you'll recover. But during the process, you want to catch yourself when you get up in your head and you start treating acceptance like a pill, because that's not acceptance at all, right? So that's why the title of this stream is, it's not about your comfort. This healing process, this growing process, this recovery process is not about your comfort. We need those fear pathways to be activated, right? So if you're trying to treat acceptance like a pill, if you're trying to treat acceptance as this thing that's just going to come in in the heat of the moment, you're telling yourself things like, okay, just accept it and it'll go away. Just accept it and it'll go away, right? Well, then you're already sending more danger signals. You're already adding second fear, right? And that's why I wanted to make it very, very clear that we don't treat acceptance like a pill. We don't treat acceptance like something in the moment that's going to make our anxiety go away. We want to embrace that anxiety. We want to embrace the thoughts with an attitude of so be it. And even though there might be a part of you that still feels like you're resisting, that's okay. We're practicing. You don't have to be perfect. None of you are perfect, right? You're a human fucking being. But understand that if you're trying to treat acceptance like a pill, if you're thinking acceptance is going to come in and just, 100% perfect within the moment, then you're going to make a crucial mistake, because what you're going to do is you're going to have that high anxiety, you're going to have those thoughts, and you're going to sit there and you're going to tell yourself things like, okay, just accept it, it'll go away, just accept it, it'll go away. And the whole time you're looking over your shoulder, just accept it, it'll go away, just accept. The whole time you're still adding all this second fear up here with statements like that, right? So it's not about your comfort during this healing process, and I know people don't like to hear that, but it's not about your comfort during this healing process. It's not about, you got to feel it to heal it. You've got to feel it to heal it, right? You've got to feel it to heal it. So that was the title of today's stream, guys. That was the point of today's stream. Anxiety recovery. It's not about your comfort. That anxiety level being high is okay. Those thoughts being there is okay. We don't want to try to use acceptance like a pill and then be looking over our shoulders saying things like, maybe this acceptance will make it go away. We'll make it go away. We want to embrace it instead, right? So I hope somebody takes something from that. And most importantly, guys, the advice is only as good as your willingness to use it. Always remember that. All right, guys, with that being said, let's switch on over to the post stream. Let's read some comments. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. Let's see. I'm far behind here. I'm far behind. Let's see. Where can I pick up? If you are blind, you still live a good life. It will change. Would you learn? Yes, but in our life, our circumstances can get worse. Blind people can't get worse. Can't get worse. We resist because we always have something to lose. Accept that anxiety is a part of your life and that you'll never get rid of it, but you can learn to live with it. Not talking about anxiety. I'm talking about things getting worse or losing something we don't want that we do. Well, that's life. That's life, dude. Nobody can take that. Nobody can change that. That's life. As we go through life, things happen. Shit happens. Have you ever heard that old quote? Shit does happen. Shit does happen. Right? Yeah, not being in the sensitized state, you're correct. Anxiety as an emotion is a normal emotion that every human being will always experience. The sensitized state, however, can be healed. You can learn to heal your nervous system through acceptance, right? So the sensitized state is not something you have to necessarily deal with for the rest of your life. Obviously, you can heal the sensitized state, but the emotion of anxiety itself, is just a part of being a human being, and that in itself is not a problem. It only becomes a problem when we make it into one with so much resistance and second fear, and then we break the nerves down, yada yada yada. So you are correct on that. But yeah, Sean, shit happens, man. Shit happens in life. It happens to all of us. But it's how we react to that. It's how we respond to that. And that's why you've got some people who can handle this very, very, flawlessly and well, and they can conduct themselves in such a manner. And then you've got other people that just lose their shit, right? But you're here and you're learning about acceptance and you're learning all these new great habits that are going to benefit you for the rest of your life, not just as far as anxiety itself is concerned. So yes, shit does happen in life, but with everything that you're learning here, you're gonna be much more prepared for that shit when and if it does happen, right? Because that is, just like anxiety is a normal emotion, shit happening in life is a very normal part of life. So, the things that you learn here are going to be very beneficial to you, not only as far as anxiety or recovery is concerned, but also in life in general. Because again, shit does happen. But if we're in a resistant state, fight, 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 we're not actually doing anything. We're just kind of running in circles, right? We're stressing ourselves out more than we need to be stressed out. So this acceptance stuff that you're learning, right, is good life advice too. It's good life advice too, and that's why I always say it's good life advice. That's why I always say it's good life advice. What's up, Kay? It's been a minute since I've seen you. How have you been? When you heal, you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Following those thoughts. But even when you're sensitized, you fall for it again. You really can't see clearly. Yeah. And that's why we say, stop trying to fight with the mind because it's a clever chess player, right? You normally don't win that one, and your nerves are only overreacting because your nerves are tired. So if the nerves weren't tired, you probably wouldn't be overreact. Your body probably wouldn't be overreacting anyway, right? So we could go on with a million different examples of why it's pointless to fight, right? But that's a big one. That's a big one right there. When you're sensitized, your body's going to overreact anyway, so why bother? You're not actually going to get anywhere. You're just sending more danger signals. So when that anxiety is high, that's fine. When those thoughts are there, that's fine. We don't want to fight with any of that. No, I get it, Sean. I get it. We all have rough moments in our life. I completely understand where you're coming from. I get it. It can be hard sometimes. Life can be difficult sometimes, especially when it's hectic, and I understand that completely. I just want you to understand, this acceptance stuff that we talk about here is not only good for your nerves, man. It's good for life in general. That's the only point I'm trying to make. That's why I say it's good life advice, because when we stress ourselves out more than we need to be by fighting what is, right? And that's not to say you can't take appropriate action in your life if appropriate action is there to take. Um, but if you're just fighting unnecessarily, right? If you're just stressing yourself out, that's where this acceptance stuff comes into play and will really help you out, right? So I just wanted to make that clear because we say that all the time. We say that acceptance is good life advice because it really is. It really is. Oh, you changed your username. It's me, Blake. Okay, I'm glad you told me that because I would have never known. What's up, Mint? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Denise, what is up? I must have missed your comment, Denise. I hope you're having a great day. Sounds like a good topic. I'm late as usual. It's all right. It gets uploaded, guys. We are so close, by the way, to that 10K mark. Let's see. I've been good, busy with work. Hope you're doing better. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate that. Leaving tomorrow on a big family trip to an event for my son. Kind of jacked up about it. Needed this. Hey, it's okay to be jacked up, right? That's what acceptance is all about. It's okay to be jacked up. It's okay to have that anxiety, that nervousness. It's okay to have those thoughts. What's not okay is fighting with it, because when you fight with it, you just send more danger signals, right? So it's a losing battle, and that's what acceptance is all about. But it's okay to be jacked up. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to have thoughts. That's what this is all about. And when you sit with that stuff and just and live with it instead of fighting against it, your brain will learn that there's no real danger, right? And that takes time, that takes practice. But when you keep that accepting attitude, that accepting inner voice, even when you're jacked up, right? Instead of looking at it as a bad thing and getting up there with that second fear, your brain eventually will catch up, right? Even though you can't really see that right now, even though you may not believe that accepting attitude that you're practicing, your brain will eventually catch up, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, that made sense. I stopped fighting, my brain got the message eventually, right? I'm doing a lot better. Good, good, good. All my symptoms seem to be subsiding slowly. There's a few that bother me. Tightness in the head, morning I'm trying to run towards it, starts growing. It feels like it's overtaking me, which is fine. It's just fine. These symptoms are fine. Freaks me out. So understandable. You're still in the practice. You're still in the practice stage, and that's okay because again, you're human and you're not perfect, right? But it sounds like you're on the right track. It sounds like you're definitely on the right track, and you just need to continue driving it home, right? Mind always thinks about problems. That's what mind is good at that. The mind is good at that. It's whether or not you fight with it and buy into it, or whether or not you just see it as another thought, right? Practice, practice. Earlier, I was asking why do most people develop that resistant habit. I think it's just human nature. We've always, we've pretty much been taught since children that we should fight everything, right? Which, as far as anxiety is concerned, and as far as negative intrusive thoughts are concerned, that's not a good idea. That backfires so hard, and you all know that because you're here. Um, but we've pretty much been taught since small children to fight everything. Literally fight everything that we do not like. So, but when that is applied to anxiety and negative thoughts, that tends to backfire pretty damn hard, right? Pretty damn hard. I'm doing good at not adding second fear. That's awesome, dude. The only thing I can't control is my mind is just paying attention to the symptoms, not fearing but paying attention. Is that second fear? No. It's not second fear to notice something. It's not second fear to be aware of something. It's not second fear to pay attention to something. It's second fear if you start judging it, labeling it, trying to fight it off mentally, blah, 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 blah. Right? That's all second fear. To notice something or to pay attention to something is not necessarily second fear. You can notice something or pay attention to something without an attitude of second fear towards it, right? This is my problem. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. It's most people's problem. But here's the ironic part of that. Here's the ironic part of that. You say, that's my problem. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. So you fight, 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 right? Second fear. How do I make it go away? Blah, blah, blah. So you say you don't want to feel uncomfortable. But the ironic part of this is you are more uncomfortable doing the fighting than you would be if you embraced it. Oof. Oof. I should just drop my mic right now and walk away. Okay? Okay? That's the ironic part of second fear. We don't want to feel uncomfortable, so we fight the thoughts, we fight the feelings. How do I make it go away? How do I make it stop? Right? But in doing so, the ironic part is, in doing so, we are far more uncomfortable and live a far more uncomfortable life with the fighting than we ever would if we just quote unquote bit the bullet, right? It's a an old saying, and went into it, right? And went into it. So that's the ironic part of this. We don't want to feel uncomfortable, so we fight, fight, fight. But the fighting is what makes you far more uncomfortable and living a far more uncomfortable life than you would if you came into it and dealt with it for what it is instead of fighting it. Yeah, now yes, that sounds scary, and yes, that will make you uncomfortable, but no more uncomfortable than you already are living this life of fight. Woo! All right. All right. So there we go. Deja vu. You gotta love deja vu. Gotta love deja vu. We've got a lot of comments. We've got a lot of comments today, guys, and I do appreciate all the comments. But when the chat is moving as fast as it is, sometimes I have a hard time reading every single one of them. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. Wonder Bro, what I miss? What's up, Sanchez? We pretty much just covered everything right there, dude. It's not about being comfortable, during the healing and recovery process. It's about going into these thoughts and feelings with an attitude of so be it, and that has nothing to do with comfort, right? So if you're using acceptance like a pill, we got to change that up. We got to change that up, right? And that's mostly what we went over today. uh, let's see here. Scroll up a little bit, see if I missed anything. Just saved $4. Thank you. How'd you save $4? The Game Pass? Are you talking about the Game Pass that you grabbed on the Discord? Nice, dude. I'm glad you was able to get that. Did you buy a game or something? I just knew I wasn't going to use it, so I wanted to give it out to you guys. Any advice on how I can outgrow this negative mentality? So if you're talking about negative intrusive thoughts, pay them no mind. When they come, so be it. You don't want to give them any energy. It's an energy exchange. If you're giving energy to something that you don't want by fighting it, then of course it's going to grow. If you're talking about you just consciously as a person choosing to be negative, right, that's a habit. That's a habit, and you can work on that. You can be more neutral rather than, because some people say, oh, well, I'm overly positive and that's annoying. You don't have to be overly positive. You can just practice being more neutral, which means when you catch yourself in the bad habit of being negative towards life or towards people, or whatever the case may be, you can catch that habit and you can break that habit. It's all about being self-aware. So if you're just a negative person, Omar, thank you so much, Omar, for the $5 tip. If you're just a negative person, right, in general, you're consciously choosing to be a negative person, then you can work on that. It's about being self-aware. It's about catching that, right? It's a habit. If you're talking about negative intrusive thoughts, don't give them any energy. Don't give them a fight. Don't give them energy. They come, they go. Don't feed what you don't want to grow, right? So I hope that helps answer your question, Arnold. Omar, again, dude, thank you for the $5 tip, man. Appreciate it. Exactly, toxic, but you got to do it, dude. You got to do it. That's the thing. We say it all the time. The advice is only as good as your willingness to use it, right? That's what we say. And when it causes physical pain and like high blood pressure, well, not permanent damage, but I get what you're saying. But what are you going to do about it? Right? So that's kind of like the ironic thing. A lot of times when we get to a point with acceptance where we're like, I would dedicate to acceptance, but this, right? But I would dedicate to acceptance, but this, right? It's always but this. It's always but this. But at that point, we need to ask ourselves, well, what can I do about it? Or if there's probably nothing you can do about it, right? And at that point, what better time to introduce acceptance? Now, if you have like a physical condition, of course, go to a doctor, right? That's something you can do about it. If you have like a physical condition or a physical health problem, obviously go to a doctor. That's something you can do about it, right? But a lot of times when there's nothing we can do about it, but we're still up in our heads saying, but this, but this, but this, I would accept, but this, right? But then you get to a point where it's like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's, you have to you eventually get to that point where it's like, okay, well, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, but then you get to a point where it's like, I've done everything that I can do. What else can I do about it, right? Eventually you get to that point. I think you're just overthinking it, toxic. You say your heart beats faster whenever this or that goes on around you. There's really nothing else you need to watch. There's really nothing else you need to know besides, okay, so what? Your heart beats faster. And that's the attitude that you need to practice. You need to practice that accepting attitude instead of getting up in your head, second fear, blah 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 blah, right? That's really all you need to know at this point, right, as far as your particular situation goes. So I wouldn't say that you need to binge watch all these videos. You just need to understand that, right? Let's see. Let's see. Uh, the mind says all sorts of stuff, Arnold. It's whether or not you want to follow that up, right? It's whether or not you want to buy into it. It's whether or not you want to attach yourself to it. Or do you want to accept it and let it burn out, or do you want to attach yourself to it, right? You think of it in the terms again of an energy exchange. Think of it in the terms of an energy exchange. It's all it's all an energy exchange, right? So you got a thought that you don't necessarily like, you got a feeling you don't necessarily like. Do you want to give it energy? Because that's what you're doing when you fight it, right? Mint, Mint. Thank you so much, Mint, for the $5 tip. Says thank you so much for what you do. I love how straightforward and genuine your content is. Thank you so much, Mint. I really do appreciate it. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you so much. That puts us at 40. Thank you guys, Mint, Omar, Tones. Thank you guys so much for your tips. I would go to the doctor and they would find nothing wrong, which is what usually happens, right? Spent 10 hours in ER one night. I told them I'm not going to call them anymore, and see, now I'm just overthinking the symptoms. So, Denise, you were in here the other day. You were talking about how much great progress you made. So you see for yourself firsthand, what happens when you stop the fight against anxiety. Because again, it really is an energy exchange. You have thoughts that you don't necessarily like. You have feelings you don't necessarily like. It's an energy exchange. Do you want to give energy to something that you don't like necessarily, right? And because that's what you're doing when you fight with it. You don't feed what you don't want to grow, and that's really what it comes back to. People, you got to understand something, guys. Your mind is so good at overcomplicating this stuff, and I've tried to be just as good at not overcomplicating it, right? But I understand what I'm up against. I'm up against the mind. The mind likes to overcomplicate everything. But when I say live your life, and when these thoughts and feelings come, don't try to make them go away. Don't get up in your head fighting with them. Just say, so be it. You got to take that for what it is. That's literally what I mean when I say that. There's no hidden agenda. There's no hidden meaning. There's nothing you're missing. There's no magical phrase. But as a human being with a human mind, I understand that people tend to overcomplicate the crap out of acceptance, and I get that. But when I say feel it to heal it, let it burn up. Don't try to fight against these thoughts and feelings. Catch yourself when you get up in your head trying to fight against these thoughts and feelings. Change that to an attitude of so be it, and keep practicing that and live your life. When I say that's the way out, that's what I literally mean. There's no hidden agenda. There's no hidden meaning. There's no magical phrase that you're missing. I understand that as a human, you've probably convinced yourself that you're missing something, but you're not. You're just overcomplicating it, right? You're just overcomplicating it, guys, and it happens all the time. I get it, because I overcomplicated the crap out of it too. To be fair and completely honest with you, I overcomplicated the crap out of it too. So I get it. Trust me, I get it. I understand it. But that's why I try to be as straightforward as possible, right? Because I understand that that's what you're doing. I understand that. Bro, I want to increase 5 inches of my height. Should I be positive to achieve it? Um, hey man, nothing wrong with being positive. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily going to make you grow any taller, but hey, it might. It just might. Why not? They said, no, call us if it happens again. I said, nope, that's okay. I see what's happening now. Yeah, you started to pick up on the bluff, right? You started to pick up on the bluff. Now, of course, guys, if you think you got a physical condition or whatever, go get cleared by a doctor. But, it's up to you to decide when that becomes a coping method. That's up to you to decide. Being tall is a blessing. I'm 5'10" and a half. Wish I was a giant 6'7" and above. That'd be crazy, dude. Let's see. How are you going with the move, Wonder Bro? We might be here for some time. I'm not really sure. It really just depends. So, especially in my area, trying to find something can be a bit tricky. But I'll keep you guys updated. Don't worry. I will keep you guys updated on that as far as, important updates go. Nothing really new to report right now though. So that's why I haven't mentioned it in a minute. But I will update you guys on all that. Well, it depends if you're agging it on, Arnold, right? So when we say feel a feeling, that means just feel it. That doesn't mean attach anything to it. So if you attach this whole narrative about how you don't want to feel it or about how you wish it'd go away and blah, 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 if you're up in your head fighting with anything, then it tends to grow, right? So just adopt a more relaxed attitude. Adopt a more relaxed attitude. So, for example, you're up in your head and you're saying, should I feel this hatred? Should I feel this anger? Maybe I don't want to feel this anger. Maybe I don't want to feel this hatred. Maybe I shouldn't be feeling this hatred. See, it's just all this useless narrative, right? And this kind of just keeps the whole thing rolling. This kind of just keeps the tires going, right? So when we say feel something, we want you to feel it in more of a neutral way, more of an accepting way, more of a neutral way. Don't overburden yourself with all these questions about should I not, blah blah blah. Feel what you're feeling and get on with your life, right? And do things that are important to you. You don't have to act based on your feelings. You can feel your feelings, you can respect your feelings, but you don't have to live a life based on your feelings, right? It comes down to overthinking everything. Should I feel this feeling? Maybe I shouldn't feel this feeling. Maybe this is a bad feeling to feel. Maybe I can make this feeling go away. Maybe if I do this, this will happen. Maybe if I do that, that will happen. Just feel whatever the hell you're feeling and have the thoughts, whatever the hell the thoughts are, and get on with your life while they're there. Don't feed what you don't want to grow. You can accept your feelings, you can respect your feelings, but don't feed what you don't want to grow. So feel whatever the hell you're feeling, have whatever the hell kind of thoughts you're having, but don't feed what you don't want to grow. Now shut up. Don't go. Shut up. Don't go any further than that for a second. I can sense the gears in your head starting to turn when I say feel your feelings, have your thoughts, don't feed what you don't want to grow, accept it, carry on with your life. Period. Shut up for a minute. Period. Don't go any further than that. Let's not go any further and start saying things. Yeah, but what? But. No. Reel it back in. Stay with me here. Stay with me here. Reel it back in. Let's not go any further for a minute. Let's just think on that for a second. Is it okay for me to feel whatever I'm feeling and to have whatever thoughts I'm having and that be the end of the story? And I'm not going to feed anything. I'm just going to feel whatever I'm feeling. I'm just going to have whatever thoughts I have, and that's the end of the story. Is that okay to do? Yes. Yes, we don't have to take it any further than that. We don't have to go, yeah, but, shut the fuck up. Bring it back in. Okay? Real. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on. Okay, there we go. I got you back. I got you back. Now stay with me for a second. Is it okay for me to feel whatever I'm feeling, whether I'm jacked up, whether I'm nervous, whether I'm angry, whether I'm afraid, whether I'm scared or I'm sad? Is it okay for me to feel those feelings and to have these thoughts that say everything's bad, this will never work out, you're going to go crazy, you're going to have a heart attack one day? Is it okay for me to have these feelings and to have these thoughts and just put a period on it and get on with my day and not feed it? It's there. It is what it is. Is that okay to do? Yes. Yes. But see, when we tell people that, here's the problem. We tell people that, and then they start this narrative. Yeah, but I don't want to feel that. Yeah, but I don't want to think that. Yeah, but what if this? Yeah, but what if that? Yeah. But. No, shut up. Remove the buts for a second. Remove the buts for a second. Is it okay to feel the way I feel and to have the thoughts I have and to just get on with my day and allow those thoughts to come, allow those feelings to come, and not fight with any of it? Is that okay to do? Yes. You're not going to die if you do that. You're not going to go crazy if you do that. You're not going to have a horrible life if you do that. None of these bad things that you're so afraid of happening is going to happen when you do that. Spoiler alert. None of those bad things that you're afraid of happening is going to happen. So the problem is, when I tell you it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to have thoughts, and you say, yeah, but I don't want to feel that. Okay? You say, I don't want to feel that. But then that's just more gas on the fire. And now you're just in this hamster wheel. Right? And now you're feeding what you don't want to grow, and it's growing. It's doing exactly what you want it to do. And you say, yeah, well, I don't want it to do that. Well, apparently you do, because you're feeding it. You're feeding it with all of the I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that. This shouldn't be happening. Blah, 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 blah. All of this is more stress on top of stress. This is triggering yourself over being triggered. Right? So it's ironic because people say, yeah, but I don't want to feel that. Well, apparently you do, because you're the one feeding it. Apparently you do, because you're the one putting the gas in the fucking thing. Apparently you do, because you're the one giving it the energy. People say, well, I don't want to have this thought. I don't want to have this feeling. Well, apparently you do, because you're the one putting Miracle-Gro on it. You're not allowing it to burn up. You're giving it energy by fighting with it, by resisting it. So apparently you do want to feel that. People say, yeah, well, I don't want to be scared. Well, apparently you do, because you're giving it energy. Apparently you do, because you're fighting it. What you don't want to grow, stop feeding it, right? So people say, yeah, but I don't want to have that thought. I say, well, apparently you do, because you're giving it energy, because you're fighting with it. Apparently you do, right? So we got to come to an understanding. We've got to come to an understanding, and that understanding has to be, whatever I feed is going to grow. That's common sense. That's common knowledge. And that applies, and I need you guys to understand that applies to your thoughts. That applies to your feelings. Whatever you feed grows, and that applies to your thoughts, and that applies to your feelings. Everybody in the chat can agree with me when I say what you feed grows, correct? Okay. Well, why don't you think that applies to your thoughts and feelings? Why don't you think that? Because it does. It does. It does apply to your thoughts, and it does apply to your feelings. The common sense, common knowledge statement that what you feed grows applies to your thoughts, and that applies to your feelings. And when we say feed, we mean energy, whether that's a fight, whether that's whatever. What you feed grows, period. No matter what you're trying to do with it, what you feed grows, period. What you feed grows, period. And yes, that applies to your thoughts, and that applies to your feelings. What you feed grows, period. Right? And so that's so simple to understand, but I get that we overcomplicate it. And that's really all this is trying to get you guys to stop overcomplicating it. Right? That's what it is. That's what it is. We're just trying to get you to a point where you stop overcomplicating it. See, Arnold says, yeah, I get all that, Wonder Bro. He says, yeah, I get all that, Wonder Bro. But I get all that, Wonder Bro. I just heard everything you said. But I get all that, Wonder Bro. That made perfect sense. But right? Right? So at the point he says, yeah, but the moment the but is introduced to what you guys just heard me say, well, we're downhill from there. Because what happens is you say, yeah, but we're already back to fighting. We're already back to adding energy. Because you say, yeah, but I ask this with all respect. How the F can I enjoy being out with people when I feel the world is bad? Well, you're feeding what you don't want to grow. You're already doing it. You're doing it again. You say, oh, I feel so bad. How can I enjoy being with people? What the F? What the F? How can I enjoy being with people? How can I enjoy my life? What the F, Wonder Bro? Okay, well, how about we erase all of that for a second? How about we erase all of the, yeah, but what the WTF, dude? Like, I can't enjoy being with people. I feel so bad. How about we erase all of that and try acceptance for once? Because when we say, yeah, but, when we say, yeah, but what if, when we say, yeah, but, we're already back to resistance within the blink of an eye, right? So already you are feeding feeling bad. So when you say, I can't enjoy being with people because I feel so bad, right? Well, then you're already feeding feeling bad. Do you see where we're going with this? So you're already feeding what you don't want to grow. And I mean that with all due respect to you too. And I'm glad that you asked these questions. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm glad you asked these questions because it gives me the chance to elaborate. So thank you, Arnold. But you see what we're getting at. It's all the yeah buts. It's all the what ifs. It's all you're back to feeding. You're not accepting, you're not feeling, you're feeding what you don't want to grow because you say, "Yeah, but I feel so bad. I can't do this. I can't do that." Well, then you're feeding it already. You're back outside with the miracle grow. You're back outside with the miracle grow, right? You're back outside with the narrative about feeling bad is bad. I don't want to feel bad, and you're not giving it a chance to burn up. You're not giving it a chance to burn up. You're not giving it a chance to burn up. You're feeding it, right? So let's put the bag of Miracle Grow in the shed for a bit, and let's drop all the yeah buts, let's drop all the yeah but what ifs, right? Because when we focus on feeding something so much that we don't want, it's no wonder that it grows, right? It's no wonder that it grows. So I hope that makes sense, and I'm glad that you asked these questions so that I can elaborate on these questions. When we're in resistance to something, that something tends to grow because resistance is a form of fight, and a fight is a form of energy, and it's an energy exchange. You get that? It's an energy exchange. Everything is an energy exchange. So when we're in a form of resistance towards something, we're in a fight. And when we're in a fight, we're in an energy exchange, right? Does that make sense? Does that kind of help a little bit? Does that help a little bit? I'm so scared right now, and that's a good thing. That's great. Let's not put any yeah buts on that. Let's say I'm so scared right now, and let's do the unthinkable, right? Let's say I'm so scared right now, okay? And let's do the unthinkable. I'm so scared right now, and OMFG, it is okay to be so scared. Oh my God, he just said it. Are you telling me that this random overweight tattooed man on YouTube just told me that it is okay if I'm scared? Holy fucking shit, he just did the unthinkable. Yes, I did. I just told you, and it came out of my mouth, that it is okay that you're scared. Oh my fucking God. You're telling me that it's okay if I feel scared? You're telling me that it's okay if I have symptoms of fear? You're telling me that it's okay if I have this horrible thought? You're telling me it's okay to feel? Yes, I did. Yes, I just did that. I just did that. And I want you to understand that I want you to start thinking that way too. Because as long as you're in an attitude of, I don't want to feel a certain way because of blank, 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 then guess what? That certain way is going to be much bigger than it needs to be. It's going to have much more dominance than it needs to have because you're in resistance, right? You're telling me that this guy just told me that it's okay to feel things other than sunshine and rainbows and fucking sprinkles? Yes. Yes, it is okay to feel things besides happiness. It is okay to feel things. This is the problem, okay? Because we've been taught by whoever the fuck that it's not okay to feel things, that it's not okay to feel scared, it's not okay to feel afraid, it's not okay to feel any of this. Why? Who said? Who said? Who said that it's not okay? Because it is okay, right? It is okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with feeling scared. You want sunshine and rainbows all the time, but that's not life. It's not life, okay? And understand that this fear only dominates you because you resist it. Fear's a pussy, dude. But you never get to the point where you understand that because you're always turning away from it, right? Fear is harmless. Being scared is harmless. All of this stuff is not as big as it seems, right? It's nowhere near as big as it seems. But you never come to understand that because you always turn away from it. You always start the narrative about how you don't want to feel it, about what can I do to make it stop. You never go there. But until you go there, you're never going to understand. You're never going to understand that fear is not what you think it is. It's not this dominant force. It's not this big thing that's going to gobble you up, right? It's not this horrible thing that's going to rule your life. It's none of these things. And as soon as you turn and face it and you say, "You know what? I'm not running anywhere." As soon as you turn and face it and say, "You know what? My God, it's okay to feel afraid," right? As soon as you adopt that as your attitude and you practice that accepting attitude, you will see that it was you. It was you that was the big monster. It wasn't fear. Fear was never the big monster. Panic was never the big monster. Anxiety was never the big monster. It was you making it out to be a big monster with everything that you ever told yourself about it, right? It was you making it out to be a big monster. There was never a big monster. It was you the whole time, behind the scenes, right? And you never get to come to that understanding unless you practice that accepting attitude. You never get to come to that understanding unless you practice in the heat of the moment saying, "Okay, you know what? I'm not going to fight with any of this. It's okay to be afraid." Right? You never get to come to that understanding unless you practice that accepting attitude. So I really do urge all of you guys to start giving that a go, right? I really do urge all of you guys to start practicing that instead of all this second fear junk, right? Dr. Claire Weeks knew it best. She knew it best. She knew that anxiety wasn't the monster. She knew that panic wasn't the monster. She knew that fear wasn't the monster. She knew second fear was the monster. And what is second fear? It's everything you're telling yourself about these thoughts and feelings, right? Dr. Claire Weeks knew it best. She knew it best, and we're here to spread the word. So I recommend you guys give it a try. I recommend you guys give it a try. Thank you so much. You always set me right. I appreciate your words so much. Long time no see, by the way. I'm glad to catch you live again. What's up? Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Gratitude is always good, too. I agree with you. I agree with you. You have no idea how much I needed to hear that's okay to be scared. My dad yelled at me for being scared as a kid. I definitely haven't felt that it's okay to be afraid, which is what I'm here to tell you. It's what I'm here to tell you. And that's what, isn't that really what it's all about as far as eliminating second fear goes, which is what is second fear? It's everything you tell yourself about your thoughts and feelings. Isn't that what it's all about in the end, is coming to the understanding that it's okay to be afraid, right? Isn't that what this really all boils down to in the end? Practicing this accepting attitude, starting to step into our fear and stop seeing it as such a monster, right? Isn't that what this is really all about at the end of the day? What's up, Michael? Welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if they necessarily, well, I get what you're saying. Yeah, a lot of people do kind of see fear as a weakness, but that's really not what it's about. It's, bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is being afraid and practicing the attitude of being okay with being afraid, and that comes down to what you tell yourself about being afraid, right? That's what it is. So, whoever thought that being afraid is a weakness, yeah, I don't know where they got that concept from either, because being afraid but having an attitude of being okay with being afraid, which is a practice, is what you tell yourself about being afraid, aka whether or not you're adding second fear, right? That's the art, right? That's the strength. It's not about the absence of fear, it's about what you do with it. So, that's what it's about. It's not about bravery and strength. None of this has anything to do with not being afraid. It has everything to do with being afraid, but what you tell yourself about it. Facing fear is not about the absence of fear. It's about being afraid and what you tell yourself about it, whether or not you're adding second fear, right? You see? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's okay to be afraid. It's what you do with it. Fear itself is not the problem, and Dr. Claire Weeks knew this better than anybody. She never once said that fear was the problem. She said second fear was the problem. She knew. What is second fear? It's what you tell yourself about these thoughts and feelings, right? She knew better than anyone that fear is not the problem. That the problem is second fear, not fear itself, right? And again, what is second fear? It's what you tell yourself about these thoughts and feelings. And that's why we say stop fighting with them and live your life, the two keys. So that's what it's all about. Not adding second fear is brave. It's a practice and it's a habit. Just like second fear is a habit, its acceptance will eventually turn into a habit for you. But you got to stay on top of it. Right? And you're all doing great. You really are. You're all doing great. Sometimes I go on these rants, I get what some people would call heated. I'm not getting heated, passionate, right? Because the thing is, every single person in here has the ability to do everything that we talk about. It just starts with consistency, right? Yeah, see the thing about the whole being fearless thing, you can't be fearless until you embrace fear. You can't be quote unquote fearless until you embrace fear. There's no way around fear, right? And when you start to understand how fear works and you drop the second fear, you start to see it for what it really is. You start to unmask it, right? But it starts with a dedicated and consistent effort to catch that second fear, which is what you tell yourself about your thoughts and feelings, and turn it into an accepting attitude. And as you practice this, big things are going to happen for you, right? Big things are going to happen for you as you practice this. Hannah, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Hannah says, thank you, Wonder Bro. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the $10 tip. That puts us at our tip goal for today. Thank you guys so much. So much. I really do appreciate it. We've been hitting our goals. every stream as of late, which is great. Really, really great. I'm very appreciative of it. It helps me a ton, especially with everything going on. So thank you. How do I change to positive thinking? I'm constantly feeding myself constant fear that I'm going to die. I'm turning 60. I'm not handling it well. I know our bodies start falling apart, which is a natural, right? So your question is, I'm constantly feeding myself constant fear. How do I change to positive thinking? So it's not so much about positive thinking. We don't want to get you into this very stressful, very difficult to achieve, overly positive person 24/7. We want you to take a more relaxed approach, which is to drop second fear. Now, to drop second fear doesn't mean you have to be this over enthusiastic, happy go lucky, bubbly person 24/7. It simply means that when you catch yourself telling yourself, like you said, feeding yourself fear, it simply means when you catch yourself feeding yourself fear over the way that you feel or over the thoughts that you have, catch that and turn it into, you know what, I'm not fighting with this, so be it. It is what it is. Or whatever you want to tell yourself, right? You don't have to go into a novel. Keep it short and sweet. So it's a habit. You have a habit of constantly feeding yourself second fear. Break that habit. And how do you break a habit? Being self aware and doing the work, right? So, anytime you catch yourself feeding yourself fear, as you put it, let's catch that. Let's take a step back and you say, you know what? It's okay to be afraid. You know what? It's okay that I just had that thought. You know what? It's okay that I have these feelings and these thoughts, or whatever you want to tell yourself, whatever works best for you. But you see the whole point here. You see the formula: short, sweet, and simple. Catch yourself feeding yourself fear and turn it into an accepting, short, sweet, and simple attitude, and then do that on a consistent basis, right? That's what it's all about. You got to catch yourself and you got to build a habit. What is second fear? It's what you tell yourself about your thoughts and feelings, and the negativity that you tell yourself about your thoughts and feelings. The fear, right, that you're feeding yourself, as you put it. That's all a habit. That is all a habit. That is all that is a habit. So that's the good news. What's the bad news? Well, it's not necessarily bad news, but here comes the part where you got to put in the work. So you got to catch yourself in the habit of doing that and turn that into a short, sweet, and simple accepting attitude. And you got to do that on a consistent basis. And it'll start to feel more real to you as you go on, right? It'll start to feel more real as you practice it. You might not believe it when you tell yourself, you know what, I'm not fighting. I accept these thoughts and feelings. And then you might have to turn around 10 seconds later and catch yourself in the second fear again and switch it back to acceptance again. You might have to put in that work, and that's okay, because you're building a new habit. And as you do it, it'll get easier. And as you do it, it'll get more believable. And as you do it, it'll get more real, because you're replacing one bad habit with a good one, right? 3 previous comments got deleted. Maybe it got held by the bot. That's probably what it was. A lot of comments got held by the bot. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. That's out of my control. For some reason, the bot holds any comments with strong curse words. Obviously, I could care less about curse words, but that's out of my control. Tip goal, thanks guys. Yes, thank you guys for the tip goal. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, especially with everything going on as of late. I got a lot more on my plate, so the tip goal really does help keep the show on the road. So thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. You have no idea. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've been trying so hard. My mind gets so focused. My mind overthinking. It's just a habit. It's a habit. We tell ourselves negative things about the way that we feel and the thoughts that we have, and then they gain strength and they gain energy, right? It's just a habit. It's just a habit. It takes time to break a habit. You got to come into these feelings. You got to come into these thoughts with an accepting attitude. It's a habit. I can't say that enough. It's a habit. It's a habit. It's up to you, Arnold. It's up to you. As long as you're not fighting. If it turned into a fight, okay, so be it. Then go to something else. As long as you're not fighting, you can adopt a more aggressive attitude if you want. You can adopt a more neutral attitude if you want. I don't care. As long as you're not up in your head fighting with your thoughts and feelings. That's it, period, right? That's it, period. You can take whatever approach you want. You can be a more aggressive with it and say, you know what? Fuck this anxiety. Do what you want. Or you can go a more neutral attitude. Hey, I accept these thoughts and feelings, right? I'm okay with being afraid. You can go with whatever attitude. I don't give a shit what your attitude is, right? You can adopt any attitude that you want as long as the underlying message is acceptance. as long as the underlying message is no more fighting. So if the more aggressive attitude puts you into a fight and you're back up in your head saying, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to have these thoughts, I don't want to have these feelings, go away. If the more aggressive attitude puts you into a fight, okay, try a more neutral attitude. I don't care what your attitude is, right? That's the beauty of it. You can adopt whatever kind of attitude you want, as long as the underlying message is acceptance, which means I'm no longer fighting with the thoughts and feelings. So if you want to be more aggressive and just say, fuck this anxiety, do what you will. Okay, as long as you're not fighting and you're accepting, I don't care. Or if you want to go more neutral, I accept these thoughts and feelings, right? Okay, that's fine. Go with that too. You can go with whatever attitude you want, whatever suits you, whatever works for you personally the best, as long as the underlying message is acceptance and no more fighting, right? Hey, making it rain with the money cloud. Hey, I appreciate you with the $5 tip. Thank you so much, Andrea, right? I think I said that right. Thank you so much for the $5 tip. I hope I said that right. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So you see what we're getting at, you know what I mean? We see what you see what we're getting at. I understand that maybe the more aggressive attitude might put you into a fight. Oh, I don't want to feel these thoughts and feelings. Fuck these thoughts and feelings. I don't want to feel them. So if that puts you into more of a fight, then drop the aggression. Go for something more neutral. Whatever works best for you, as long as there is not a fight going on. As long as there's an underlying message of acceptance, you can go with whatever attitude you want to go with, whatever works best for you, as long as there's no more fight that is occurring, right? And I think I know what video you're referring to, Arnold. I think I know which one you're talking about. Later on in that stream, we did talk about that. We talked about how maybe the more aggressive standpoint's not for you. And if it's not, so be it. Maybe you want a more neutral standpoint. But you get what we're getting at. As long as the underlying message here is acceptance, then you can go with whatever attitude you want to go with. Um, let's see. I think my comment got lost. I feel like I can't sit still, and I feel like I have to keep busy and go out all the time. I used to enjoy just relaxing. So as you sit there and as you're relaxing, okay, as you sit there and you're doing what you want to do, if these thoughts make you uncomfortable, so be it. Don't feed them, right? So if you get up in your head and you start telling yourself things like, oh, I got to go do something again because here it is bothering me again. I hate this. I hate how this makes me feel. I can't just relax anymore. You cut all that dialogue out. Cut all that dialogue out and replace that with something like, okay, I feel on edge, that's fine, right? So short, sweet, and simple. We don't want you to debate with anything. This is not about debating with anything. This is about adopting an accepting attitude, right? Oh yeah, as far as age is concerned, that's irrelevant. If you've been what people would call an anxious person for 30 years of your life, 50 years of your whatever, now that you know about acceptance, you can start making great changes. You'll live the best of your life, is still to come, right? Now that you know about acceptance. So, age irrelevant. Irrelevant. Exactly, exactly, Mint. It doesn't matter how long, that's still just a habit, and a habit can be changed. Well, let's start with the accepting attitude. And so here's the thing: you don't believe the accepting attitude, therefore you're not willing to try it. But whether you believe it or not, I don't care. I want you to try it anyway. So let's start with that now. Let's start with that now. Even see that's the problem, man. You don't believe that you're a person who can use acceptance, therefore you don't try it. But I don't care if you believe it. I don't even want you to believe it right now. Let's just do it anyway, right? Regardless of the way that you feel, regardless if you believe that you're an accepting person or not, right? Let's do it anyway, and let's do it consistently. So right now, as you sit, wherever it is that you are sitting, let's adopt a more accepting attitude, okay? I feel this way, and that's fine. I have these thoughts, and that's fine. Now, when you say those words, you probably won't believe them. And like I said, I don't care if you believe them. Let's do it anyway. And then 10 seconds later, you might be up in your head saying, oh, I'm so frustrated. I just want to knock myself out right now. Drop it, and let's change that. Let's change that to an accepting attitude again. And maybe we got to repeat that, but that's okay. We're building a new habit. You might not necessarily believe it, It might not necessarily make you feel any better in the moment. That's okay too. Let's do it anyway, right? Let's do it anyway. I'm trying to tip for your help. I'm having issues. You can use the link in the description. If you close the live chat, you'll see a top link there. If you click on that, that should step you through it pretty easily. If not, you can go directly through the what's the word I'm looking for? Email on screen. Let's see. I can accept 100% no fear, not wishing it away. I'm practicing and it goes away. But when it comes back that day, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to start over. Kind of gets to me. Well, that's the thing. Fear pathways are activated, and sometimes they're activated at weird times or times where you don't really expect it, right? But you know what to do. So, you might want to jump into the narrative of, oh gosh, I don't want to do this. But let's drop that narrative and let's get right back into our acceptance, right? So that's where consistency comes into play. The on and off, the on and off. Yes, it's kind of annoying, but that's, honestly, I know that's not a very satisfying answer, but that is where consistency comes into play. You just got to be consistent with it, even though it is a little bit aggravating at times, right? That is a little annoying, I understand, but that is where the consistency really does come into play. I, I wish it was a one and done, right? That would be great. That would be great, right? If it was just a one and done, but unfortunately it's not. And, well, I say unfortunate, but that's not really an accepting way to put that, is that? No, it's not. It's not unfortunate, it's just the way it is. It's just the way that works. I would say it definitely applies to resentment or anger, Sean. In fact, I shared something today. Let's see if I can pull that up. I shared something today along the lines of something to do with anger. Let me see here. See if I can pull that up. So, what is anger? Okay. The answer is it is a punishment we give to ourselves for somebody else's mistake. So, when we feed this anger, rather than just accept it because it can be automatic, but when we feed it and we get up into our heads, look at what they've done to me, look at what they do to me, right? And we feed again that this is a form of feeding the emotion rather than accepting it, right? So when we do that, it's a punishment that we give ourselves for somebody else's mistake. Shared that today. I thought that was an awesome quote. Awesome quote. A punishment that we give ourselves for somebody else's mistake. Beautiful, beautiful quote. I love it. So when we feed that anger rather than accept it, it becomes a punishment that we give ourselves for somebody else's mistake. Beautiful, beautiful quote. Hey, let's see. We don't have any admins at this point during the day, do we? Like I try to have admins set for like every possible like time zone or whatever. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's you're catching on to your own fuel, your own resistance, Arnold. You're catching on, dude. You're catching on. Let's see. All right, Mint, instant Mint. Please come to my office for a moment. We need to talk. You are now a moderator. I gave you admin because you're awesome. So congrats, you are now a mod on the channel. You didn't ask for it, but you are now a mod. I'm glad that you're catching on to your own resistance there, Arnold. That makes me happy. You see, it's starting to click, dude. It's starting to click for you, isn't it? Little by little, it's starting to click for you. I can see it. I can sense it. I can sense it. You're starting to get it. You're still hanging on a little bit though because you're like, yeah, but it's still a good question. You see what I'm saying? But you're starting to get it. You're starting to get it, and that makes me happy. You're starting to get it. To answer your question, you do whatever you want to do. You don't have to be dominated by your feelings. You can still make whatever actions you want to make while you accept these feelings and these thoughts. So I'll still answer your question there, but I'm glad that you're starting to catch on to your own habits. I'm glad that you're starting to catch on to your own habits there. I just knocked something over and I'm trying to pick up. Instant Vince having panic about being an admin. Oh, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Actually, being an admin on this channel brings like little to no responsibility because we never have trolls. We never have trolls, but if you want a quick like tutorial on how to be an admin on this channel, basically if someone's being a downright dick or just a straight up troll and it's obvious, then just hit them with the fucking ban hammer because we don't have time for bullshit. So, pretty straightforward how to be a mod on this channel. Or you don't have to do any of that and somebody else will take care of it, or I'll take care of it, and you can just flex your pretty little wrench beside your name and just be there as a as a force, right? You don't have to actually do anything. Just seeing the wrench might do something for the trolls, make them think twice, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it, Mint. You actually don't have any responsibilities. You're kind of just flexing your wrench. Normally, when there's trolls or someone that's just being a straight dick, I ban them myself, and it doesn't happen often. Like it rarely ever happens anyway. So basically, you have no responsibilities. Just flex your wrench and don't worry about anything. That's it. That's it. You don't actually have to do anything. Just flex your wrench, and that's it. So just sit there and look pretty. That's basically it. That's basically it. It's about 2 p.m. where I'm at, Mike. About 2 p.m. Scared to eat because of digestive issues. Well, at the end of the day, you gotta eat, right? At the end of the day, that's not a very satisfying answer, but you gotta eat. But the worst thing you could do is freak yourself out about it. So, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen when you do eat, right? Regardless. And we gotta practice this accepting attitude, right? Because it's not a guarantee that something's will happen as far as shaking or whatever. But at the end of the day, you gotta eat. So at the end of the day, it's all gonna come down to acceptance. It basically comes down to this, Arnold. Accept the way you feel and accept the thoughts that you have and then live your life for you, right? No more of a fight. You keep it that simple. I promise if you keep it that simple rather than overcomplicating it, you'll make more progress. I accept the way I feel and I accept the thoughts I have and I'm going to do what I want now while these thoughts and feelings do what they want. So it's, if you keep it that simple, I promise you'll make more progress than you are by overcomplicating it. I promise you'll make more progress. Look at the second fear pouring out of Mint over being admin, man. Mint. You know what? We'll make what was it? Andrea, right? I'm not quite sure how to say your name. You you asked or you said that you could be admin for this time. We'll give it to you, and just to make Mint feel more at ease here, we'll take it away. We'll take it away from Mint. You don't have to worry about it, Mint. We'll take it away from you. We'll give it to I cannot pronounce your name to save my life, dude. But you're a moderator now. You're a moderator now. On Andre and Andrea. I'm gonna call you Andrea. You're a moderator now. Mint, I took it. I took your mod away, so you don't have to worry about it. Any thoughts what you're gonna do for 10K? Not 100%. Nothing's like concrete yet, but I've tossed around a few ideas. I've tossed around a few ideas, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm just giving you a hard time, Mint. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's all good. First time here. What's your take on narrating my nonstop chatter? It's about how it feels. Stuck song in my head conversation I had earlier. Future conversations I could have with people. Yeah. So we were talking earlier. Okay. We were talking earlier about how what you feed grows, and that does include your thoughts and feelings. A lot of people understand the basic concept of what you feed grows. Like that's a pretty common sense obvious statement. What I feed grows. Okay, I can understand that, and I'm sure you can understand that too. But for some reason, people don't think that applies to their thoughts and feelings, but it does, and that absolutely applies to their thoughts and feelings here. And what you're saying. So if you have a thought that maybe says, well, what could happen if this goes wrong in the future, or whatever the case may be, you have a choice in that moment. You can feed that and it'll grow, or you can accept that for what it is. So be it. I had that thought, right? So it's all about catching yourself feeding what you don't want to grow. So you have these thoughts and feelings. You can either A, adopt an accepting attitude. Okay, it's okay to have that thought. It's okay to have that feeling. Go back to living my life now, and you can build that habit because that will take some work. You can build that habit, or you can go the opposite route, which is feeding what I don't want to grow, aka fighting, right? Aka fighting. So you really have a choice. You either consciously make the effort to practice the accepting attitude even though you don't feel like it, and then it'll become easier and it'll become more real, or you can, continue the bad habit of fighting. Yeah, it's no problem. You can watch again from the beginning if you'd like to, but I don't mind answering questions, even if it's, you're tuning in late or whatever. I'm gonna call you AC. There we go. Yeah. I That's so much easier. We'll leave it at that. I'm gonna call you AC. Same applies to you in the chat, Muhammad. Same answer that I just gave. Yeah, good luck. I cannot pronounce that name. Same answer that I just gave that lovely person also applies to your comments. So, speaking of 10K, guys, let's see. Where are we? Where are we on the road to 10K? I don't even know. I haven't checked it today. Where are we on that road to 10K? Wow, we're close. We're at 9,987. We are almost 10 people away from 10K, dude. We are almost 10 people away from 10K. they're really, we don't want you to think of in terms of an approach, right? We don't want you to overcomplicate it. We want you to understand that whether it's heightened stage of anxiety or just low level anxiety or whatever it is, it's okay to feel the way that you feel, and you need to remind yourself of that. You need to keep that accepting attitude rather than getting up in your head saying, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to have these thoughts, how do I make it go away? You got to practice cutting all that out and switching to the accepting attitude. Whether we're talking about low levels of anxiety or high levels of anxiety, that's irrelevant, right? That's irrelevant. I should have let Mint keep her moderator status, and I should have like pressured pressured her about it so I could get her to face that fear. Man, missed opportunity. I'm just kidding. Just giving you a hard time, Mint. That's it. Just giving you a hard time. Giving you a hard time. You're welcome for the practice experience. See, that's good. It's so good that you have that attitude. It is so sweet. It is music to my ears when Mint says that gave me a little bit of an anxiety reaction. Now, most people would say, oh gosh, that's horrible, right? But we say that's sweet. I'm so glad you have the attitude of it's okay. It is okay to feel that. It is okay to have these thoughts. It is okay to have these feelings. All of this is okay. This is fine. This is not a problem. You're not trying to make anything go away. You're not trying to fight anything. It's okay that I got a bit nervous. It's okay that I felt a bit uncertain. It's okay that I had these what if thoughts. It's okay that I got a bit, on the edge of my seat when I thought I was going to have to be a moderator, right? This is okay. This is good. This is not a problem. It's not a problem, and it's awesome. It is so awesome that you understand that. It's so awesome that you're not seeing it as a bad thing. It's so awesome that this is how we get you over this, right? And you know, that's why when you've got people that tend to baby people and tend to try to hold their hand and tend to try to beat around the bush a bit. That's why they're not making any real progress. They're not making any real progress because they're not getting an opportunity to practice acceptance. They're not getting an opportunity to change their opinion of these thoughts and feelings. They're not getting the opportunity to change their viewpoints. They're not getting an opportunity to do any of that. So I'm glad that you see it that way because that's the way that you have to see it if you want to start to make true change. And this is something way bigger than just you being a little nervous because you thought you might have to be a moderator here on the channel. This is more about your entire life here that we're talking about. So it's not so much the context of what made you nervous. It's not so much the context of what makes you anxious. It's getting the opportunity to change your viewpoint of it, getting the opportunity to see it as not such a bad thing, right? So I'm really glad that you have that viewpoint because that's the viewpoint that you need to have to continue to overcome this thing. So you're on the right track, Mint, and that is awesome. I tell myself the only reason I am hyper aware of my narrating mind is because I am sensitized. Let's make it even simpler than that. Let's make it even simpler than that. I'm aware, my mind. Okay, you say, is that the correct approach? Well, let's make it simpler than that. Let's not dive so deep. Let's pull it back a little bit and let's make it a little bit shorter and a little bit sweeter. So instead of the only reason I'm hyper aware of my narrating mind is because I'm sensitized, which that's a mouthful right there. You're going to wear yourself out. Let's change that to something like I'm having a lot of thoughts right now and I'm aware of those thoughts. That's okay. It's okay to have a lot of thoughts. I'm having some feelings. It's okay to have feelings, right? Let's make it even shorter and sweeter, and then let's get on with our day, right? And let's practice that. Let's practice that. Vacate second fear. There you go, Arnold. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. I like it. I like it. I do remember, I vaguely remember a stream where I was in a helicopter. I do remember that. That was a funny one. You're doing great, Mint. You're doing great. Obviously, you have the right attitude. You have the correct attitude. It's okay. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. It's okay. It's all okay. It's okay to have your whatever feelings. It's okay to have whatever thoughts. You absolutely have the correct attitude, and hopefully you keep that attitude up moving forward because you're doing great. You really are, and you should be proud of yourself. It's okay that I'm scared. It's okay that I'm nervous. It's okay that I didn't want to be a moderator. It's all okay. Holy shit, it's okay to feel the way I feel and have the thoughts I have. It's okay that I'm nervous. What? It's okay that I'm scared. What? Say it again. It's okay that I'm afraid. Right? It's okay that I just had that thought that I might have a heart attack. It's okay that I just had that thought that I might go crazy. This is all okay. It's okay, and I don't have to feed that because I don't want to feed what I don't want to grow. So instead, I'll just come to the realization and the truth that it's okay, right? That's an awesome realization to come to. It's such an awesome realization to come to because if we spend our lives proclaiming to ourselves that it's not okay to feel what we feel or have the thoughts that we have, we're in for a power struggle that ultimately we're not going to win, right? Keeps getting worse. That's okay. It's okay. Why is it not okay? Why should it not be okay? Tell me why it shouldn't be okay. Because you don't like it? It's okay that you don't like it, but it's okay that it's okay. It's okay. It's all okay. Right? And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. I made a mistake. That's okay. I learned. I feel nervous. That's okay. I'm scared. That's okay. Keeps getting worse. That's okay. Why is it not okay? Because you said it wasn't? Well, how about you say it is instead? Right? How about we do that instead? How about we do that instead? Because as long as we have this attitude of it's not okay to feel the way that I feel, then we get in a bit of trouble. And now we're suffering. We don't need to suffer. And it starts with just one simple statement. It's okay to feel the way I feel. It's okay to have the thoughts that I have. It's okay. And then 5 seconds later, you might notice you're adding second fear. Oh no, it's getting worse. I don't want it to get. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Maybe you can hold on to that for a few seconds. All right. It's okay to feel these feelings, to have these thoughts. And then 5 seconds later, you're, oh gosh, it's getting where I don't want to blah, 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 blah. And then you bring it back in. Bring it back in. It's okay. It's okay to feel these feelings, right? And then maybe you can only grasp that for about 10 seconds, and then here comes you adding the habit of second fear. Okay, I caught that habit this time, but I'm going to stay with it's okay instead, right? Thank you for that. Thank you to my mind, thank you to my body. I'm going to hold on to that for a bit. And then 5 seconds later, maybe I give in to the habit of second fear again, that nasty second fear, but that's okay. I'm going to go right back to it's okay, right? See? You see where we're getting at with this, building this habit, right? This accepting habit. The cats, are they going to be okay? I don't know. Are they? What cats? What cats are we referring to? And you see, that's why there's people out there that, you know, don't have the problem. They don't ever run into the problem of sensitization. They don't ever run into the problem of sensitization because that's the attitude that they have. And that's why they never become sensitized. So it's a simple habit. It's a simple habit at the end of the day. My bone is out. It's okay. Well, you should probably see a doctor for that. But at the same time, yeah, it's going to be okay. But but while you're reminding yourself that it's going to be okay, you should probably go see a doctor if your bone's sticking out. Obviously. But you're right. You are correct. It's going to be okay. I mean, everything is at the end of the day. Who's to say? Who's to say? Who sat down and wrote the fucking book that it's not okay to feel the way you feel? Who sat down and wrote the fucking book that said it's not okay to have the thoughts that you have? Who did that? Who did that? I'm gonna die in 10 seconds. It's okay. Well, I mean, if there's no avoiding it, then you're right. It's okay. You're right. You're absolutely correct. There's nothing you can do about it. Then yeah, you're right. It's okay. See, that's the thing. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. We're in complete denial, resistance, complete fight. We're stressing ourselves out over things we can't control. We're stressing ourselves out over thoughts that are already there. We're stressing ourselves out over feelings that are already there. We're stressing ourselves out and we're fighting useless battles. And we're making it worse. We're not actually helping anything. We're making it worse. That's what we're doing. We're making it worse. So we're fighting useless battles. We're fighting pointless battles. We're keeping ourselves stuck in this fucking hamster wheel. And it all comes down to adopting an accepting attitude so you can stop feeding what you don't want to grow. Right? That's what it all comes down to. You're making it so much worse on yourself. That's what it's all about. Right? You're doing it. Nobody else is doing it. You're doing it. And you got to have that maturity, that self-awareness, that responsibility to say, okay, yes, I am doing this to myself. And I'm going to adopt a more accepting attitude. I'm going to stop working myself up, right? And I'm going to get into the habit of reminding myself it's okay to have my thoughts, it's okay to have my feelings, right? At the end of the day, you got to have that maturity and that self-awareness to take on that responsibility and put in the work, because that's what it comes down to. Oh, Phantom and Shitbox, yes. You said you wouldn't be able to bring them. I think I know how hard rehoming pets can be in some places. Yeah, I might be able to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It just depends on the place that we find, right? But I will keep you updated on that the more I find out, if I remember to do so. If I remember to update you on the cat situation, I will do that. Very powerful indeed. Yeah, man. If I remember to update you on the cats, I will do that next time I'm streaming or whenever I do get an update. Well, don't overcomplicate it, Arnold. Don't think too deeply into it. Just remember, it is okay to feel what you feel and to have the thoughts that you have, and then to live the life that you want to live, right? During the process. You're a very deep thinker, my friend. Very deep thinker. And I respect that. I respect that, but we don't want to overcomplicate this process. We don't want to overcomplicate this process. Let's crack open some orange soda, chat. I'm kind of thirsty. What you guys think? Some orange soda, yeah? That's not the first time I've heard that, actually, Michael. I think it's because you have time to sit there and get into your head. Isn't that what it all comes down to? You have time now because you're at the light, so you have time to sit there and add second fear. I mean, do you see how it all comes back to second fear in the end, dude? It's just that habit. Water. Maddie, why you do me like that? Why you do me like that? It's okay, Arnold. You're working on being okay with your thoughts and feelings and then living life how you want to live it. That sound, it is a beautiful sound, isn't it? What's the heaviest you've been in your life? I was 283 at one point when I was taking my training very seriously. The heaviest I've been in my life, probably pushing like 250. Uh, Thank God that I'm tall, because if I wasn't tall, I'd be extremely, extremely fat. So there's nothing wrong with being fat, but you know, yeah. If I wasn't so tall, I would just be completely round. So it kind of evens out. It kind of stretches all out. You know what I mean? Hey, that's a good idea. That's a good topic. I might tackle that at some point. How to deal with the thought of what others will think of our anxiety. I'll give you a little tip right here since we're already streaming as far as that goes. Who cares what they think, dude? Chances are they're not even worried about you and your anxiety. They're too busy worrying about themselves, right? Water. I'm around 6'3", 6'4", last time I checked. So, and that probably hasn't changed because I probably haven't grown any. I think I'm over that. I don't think there's any more growing as far as my height is concerned. So I'm around roughly 6'3", 6'4", something like that. It's been an awesome stream, guys. It's been an awesome stream. I can't believe we've almost approached 2 hours. Wow. I've been streaming for a lot longer than I thought. It's been great. I appreciate all the questions today. We had a few famous Wonder Bro rants today, so it's been a good stream. I appreciate you guys pushing me to make good content with your questions and the way that you get me fired up. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate all the love and support, guys. Seriously, we're about 10 people away from 10K. Absolutely amazing. I am going to go ahead and wrap it up here, though. It's like I said, we're almost at that 2 hour mark, so this has been a long one today. I do appreciate it, though. I appreciate all the comments, the likes. If you haven't thought to do so, if you could do so now, leave a like on this stream. It really does help the channel grow. It helps get the word out to people who may need it. So I do appreciate all the likes, the comments, the shares, everything. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. I love you guys. I am going to wrap it up. I'll see you soon, probably over on the Discord if you're over there. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Again, I love you guys. And until next time, as always, stay awesome. Tony, you just missed it, dude. We're just now shutting it down, Tony. Oh, man, I hate to end it now. Tony, I love you, man. I love you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. This video will be uploaded for the people who missed it. Assuming YouTube doesn't do some weird shit with it, it will be uploaded. I love you guys. I love you, Tony.